Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us, going live with FCTV. I'm your host, Matt Dowling, alongside my good buddy, Dave Cesarek. Dave, how have you been?
Been well, Matthew.
So, on our last show, we had some guys from the VFW band.
We sure did.
And your phone so rudely interrupted their segment. But they were trying to get you to play the alto sax. Has that made its way out of the attic yet? Is that where the alto is?
I was told by our chief videographer, Harry, here that that's my penance, that I have to, since my phone went off, I have to join the VFW band. And I tell you what, I did enjoy playing alto sax, but I don't know if the rest of the world is ready to hear my talent
not.
just yet. No, probably
You're
not.
no Bill Clinton?
Not so much.
So are you getting prepared? The sax hasn't come out of the attic. How about the Christmas decorations? Are you getting ready for the impending holiday season? Ready or not, here it comes.
I have a favorite Christmas decoration, and maybe some of our viewers wouldn't even remember that these existed. I only know it exists thanks to my beautiful grandmother, 94 years old. They're these silver trees that come with a color wheel. So you don't need to put lights on this tree. You have this color wheel that has red and gold and blue, I think, and it kind of spins around and reflects off the branches, and it looks just beautiful. It's the old bachelor's Christmas tree.
Does her color wheel still work?
It does. It does. I don't know if it's electrically safe, but
But you run it
small
anyway.
price to pay.
Yeah. I understand actually those are hard to come by and worth a pretty penny if you can get one
on eBay,
in working condition. I looked for one at one point in time, but didn't find one. I didn't know I just had to steal yours.
If it shows up missing, I'll know who to blame.
So why don't we promo a little bit, people are watching the show tonight, but we have two special episodes that are coming up. Why don't we talk a little bit about those?
We sure do. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we'll be showing our special holiday episode, and also a special New Year's Eve edition of Going Live. So we've been working hard to prepare for those two episodes. We have some really cool and exciting guests.
Yeah, New Year's Eve I'm really excited for because one of my favorite parts of the show is always the music. And we're going to be doing a countdown of all of the musical guests we've had over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing that starting at 8 p.m.
Right.
At 10 p.m. there's a special episode of Going Live. We have some great guests booked for that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We sure do.
We
sure
do.
Some young talent.
Young talent from Fayette County. A young lady who was in the Hunger Games. A young woman who voiced an animated film. People you wouldn't believe.
New York City comedian.
Live right here.
Right.
New York City comedian will be doing a set with us, or at least an interview. So we're really excited about that. We're going to break from 11 to 12, let you catch up on the news, let you catch up with what Seacrest is doing. He's not my favorite person, But
I give him props, so he's a hard worker.
He is. He's always out there. So you can check in with Seacrest, do your thing. Right after midnight, we'll be back with two special band sets. So they'll be playing from 12 to 1. And if you're having a holiday party, it's a great background to
Sure
turn
is,
on.
yep.
But I'm really excited about that. And during that 11 o'clock hour, even though Going Live won't be on, we'll have a rebroadcast of the Wally Ginger Orchestra, which has been shown on the station several times, very popular. But so you can do music all night long with FCTV,
Right.
with Fayette TV, on New Year's Eve.
You mentioned the Wally Ginger Orchestra, and that was a popular program here on Fayette TV. For folks, on our last episode, I think you mentioned our new website. So for folks that missed something, we now, our new website, FayetteTV.org, has an extensive archive of material that's aired right here that maybe if you missed it, it's your chance to catch the archive footage. We also, of course, on the show's website, GoingLiveFCTV.com, we archive every episode of this show. So you can, if you're a new viewer and you want to kind of look back to see who else we've had on the show, some of our past musical performances, just go to our site. It's GoingLiveFCTV.com.
Well, you mentioned the website, and on the Going Live site, there's a feature that for the past, 3-4 weeks we've had up there, our internship program. And we're currently working with that program, currently accepting applications for the spring semester.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that program, who we're looking for, who an ideal candidate is, who gets to come and have fun with us here on the show. for the spring semester?
Well, we have a lot of current high school students working with us in the production of this show, and that's something that we intend to continue. But now we're also reaching out to high school graduates, maybe folks that are interested in the study of broadcast, communications, marketing, PR, and we're given the opportunity to be a production intern on this show to kind of go behind the scenes into the craziness that makes this show happen twice every month here on Fayette TV.
You really just want someone else to do your work. That's
Not
what
untrue.
you're talking about?
Not untrue.
Okay, so let's talk about today's show just a little bit. We have some great guests. First, we have a young lady from Nemacolin Castle.
Sarah Bogert, the tour coordinator. I just did a holiday tour up in Nemacolin Castle. Great experience. Should be on everyone's Fayette County bucket list.
Artist, you can tell. I love when we have artists on the show because they brighten up the set a little bit.
It's blinged out.
It is. We have some nice art hanging with us. I really like this piece behind me. We can learn more about that art from a young lady named Jennifer Frame.
All the way up from Fairmont.
Fairmont.
Fayette County Connection. She was the featured artist of the month right here at the Fayette County Courthouse's Law Library.
Okay. And in addition to all that, we have our buddy Chef Mario. From the Mario Cooks radio show on WMBS. And he's been on our show for pretty much the past year, doing a lot of other good stuff. Chef Mario is going to be with us here today, doing some holiday favorites, so I'm excited about that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about our musical guest? We're going to go to him in just a moment.
I saw our musical guest for the first time at the Battle of the Bands, which was organized by our friends at the Uniontown YMCA and happened at this year's Fayette County Fair, where Fayette TV was for the duration of that event over the summer. And they're called Martyr Canaan. Michael Muscannon and his team put together some really great music. Acoustic, rock and roll, folk. It's from the heart. It's just good American music, and we're so happy to have him on the show today.
Well, you know, Clinton Rhodes of the HeraldStandard.com calls his music intelligent, insightful, reflective, and also compassionate. So without any further ado, we're going to go and open up the show with Martyr Canaan.
Versus father and daughter versus mother. If it's not one thing, you know it's the other. It's southern, it's brother, and it's covering up above. It's hating on the ones you know you should love when the walls come tumbling down. Will we ever hear that sound when the world stops turning around? Then the walls say it's Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. And if you can't conceive to believe what we believe and leave quietly through the door, yet everybody's welcome in the house of the Lord when the walls come tumbling down. Will we ever hear that sound when the world stops turning around? Then the walls tumble down. Now there's a man in jail in a cell who tells just how justice prevails with a perp in hell who broke into his home and his family alone, shot him with a gun he shouldn't have owned. When the walls come tumbling down, will we ever hear that sound when the world there once was a man to stand for a dream that we could all live in peace and harmony, to be free, to be just what we want to be. But does anybody understand equality when the walls come tumbling down? Will we ever hear that sound when the world stops turning round? Then the walls turn over, tumble down. I know the man with the plan understands that we should all spread a little butter and jam just to sweeten the bread that is our resistance. But instead, us in the South continue to stand when the walls come tumbling down. When the world stops turning around, will we recognize that sound of the walls tumbling down? When the walls come tumbling down, oh, the walls are tumbling down.
Nice.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for being with us here today. Martyr Canaan is the name of the group, correct? And you call yourself a little bit of a late bloomer in the music industry. Why don't you tell us what do you mean by that?
Well, I didn't start playing guitar until about 5 years ago. I never learned much about music.
Okay.
I actually went to school at Fairmont State University. I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and on the side, I actually took up some engineering
Okay.
while I was in school. And baseball didn't work out. Long story short, so I had to find something to fill the void. So I picked up a guitar. And been doing it ever
Self-taught,
since.
or did
Oh, yeah.
you self-taught?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, your 11-track album, Palm of a Shadow, is out now, and you say the item title is about taking control of one's life.
Correct.
Tell
I
us a
don't know if
little
you
bit
can
about that.
show the album cover at all, but something I actually painted, something I do kind of on the side as well. But Palm of a Shadow is a lyric from the last song on the track called Forgive Me. And,
Okay.
basically, if you can tell what it is, it's a little guy in the palm of a shadow. Basically, it's about taking life in your own, your own hands. And if you're going to make something happen, you've got to go out and do it. So basically, the way I see it, you can do anything you want to do. You just got to go out and get it.
Sure. So cover art is by you as well. Very nice piece of artwork there. If someone's interested in obtaining a copy, where can they do that?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon, CD Baby. It's on, most iTunes, most.
Look it
most
up
sites
on the
like that,
internet. You'll
for
be able
sure.
to find it.
Absolutely.
Palm of a Shadow is the name of the CD that's currently out. We have just a moment or two left in this segment, but I wanted to go ahead and ask you a question that I've been curious about. Your given name is Michael, so where's the name Martyr Canaan come from?
Well, I wasn't sure if when I started music, started recording, I'm a very private person as it is, but I never wanted the music to be about me personally. So,
Sure.
Leave my name out of it. It's about the music. It's about people hearing it. It really doesn't matter what name is behind it, but I came up with martyr. Martyr, the biblical term of martyr, basically means witness and one who gives testimony. And I felt like that's what my songwriting is all about, is from the heart, what I've experienced on this earth and the people I've met, good and bad. And speaking of good, I'd like to also introduce my drummer, Charlie Keel.
Sure thing.
He's been like an angel on my shoulder for the past 6 months. Met Charlie, we started jamming, just garage type, and it's been like the beautiful friendship ever since with him and his whole family, and we've had a lot of support with Corey and Erica Kraft helping us out with the website and everything, because I'm not very technical, but and also my girlfriend Robin has been by my side. And, I appreciate all that. And my best friend Zach and Alan, of course, our sound man and our lights who always help us out. So
Sure.
I want to recognize everybody.
You'd never guess that you guys have only been playing together for 6 months. It's really meshed.
Well, it's almost about 9 now. Actually,
Okay.
live for about 6 months.
Okay.
I think June was the first time we played out.
So what's made that relationship work so well?
One, it's simple. Very, very simple music. You know, it's just me and the guitar and songs, and obviously you got Charlie over here on the drums. And the main thing about music, you've got to mesh here. Bands can work out otherwise, but a lot of times they won't stick together. I don't know what the future holds for us, but right now it's here, and that's what's important about us. So that's why we get together, and that's why we get along so well.
Well, I want you guys to stick around. You're going to close out the show for us
Great.
today.
Sounds
That
great.
sounds good. We want to thank them again for being with us. Martyr Kane, let's give them one big round of applause. We'll be back after these brief messages. Bored? Well, maybe it's time for you to get a hobby at Uniontown's most exciting new store, Get a Hobby, where you'll find fun for everyone. Lionel Trains have been bringing families joy for more than 100 years, and Get a Hobby has a big selection. For more excitement, try a remote-controlled truck, plane, or even a helicopter. From the beginner to the experienced pilot or driver, Get a Hobby has what they want. Modeling is relaxing, fun, and rewarding, and Get a Hobby has the largest selection of plastic cars and military model kits in the area, and all the paints and glues that you'll need to do it right. Don't forget about all the puzzles, paint by numbers, sewing kits, and even science projects. Stop by Get a Hobby today, downtown Uniontown, next to Woodlands World. They'll help you and your family find a lifetime of fun. Well, hey, thanks for sticking around with us here at Going Live with FCTV. Great musical act. What did you guys think about the musical act?
Loved
that
it.
opened up for us today?
Yep.
Did a real nice job. Joining us on the couch here, much better looking than Dave, Miss Jennifer Frame. She's here from Fairmont, West Virginia.
Yes.
But as Dave said in the open, you have a little bit of a local connection, as your art was recently featured here in the area.
Yes, it was. It was featured at the Fayette County Courthouse in the Law Library in February. I was the Artist of the Month in February.
So one of the questions, Dave preps me with all this stuff. One of the questions that he had for you, and I find kind of interesting, having looked at your art, is he says you were intimidated by artistic students in college. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I grew up in the country.
Okay.
And kind of far out, kind of shy. And I moved to Fairmont. I actually went to Fairmont State University where the band.
Okay.
Where he went
So
too,
we
yeah.
could do an episode live from Fairmont
We
State.
might. I might
My
have lived with
brother-in-law
him,
went
I
to
don't
school
know.
there too. So,
Really?
yeah, crazy
Great.
things.
Well, anyway, so I was going to be an art major, and I went there, and, you know, art majors have, like, pink hair and black nail polish, and I was new.
Like Dave.
A little bit, yeah,
Yeah.
They a little bit. Well, I mean, like Spike, maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit more of
I
this.
toned it down today, Jeff.
You should see him on the weekends.
Really?
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I go there, and that was my major, and I was overwhelmed at first, and I was shy back then, and so I ended up changing my major, so I didn't major in art and majored in psychology.
So the last formal art classes you took were actually in high school,
In high
right?
school.
Wow.
Yep, Mr. Barry, Nichols County High School.
How about that? Was it an influential teacher for you?
He was. He
Yeah.
did a lot of pottery, which I don't do. but
Yeah.
So influential, I don't practice his craft.
Not at all. Couldn't live up to him.
Influences you did have, and our guests are going to think this is a reoccurring theme with me, Bob Ross. He was a influence of yours?
Definitely, yes, because in art I always drew and did different crafts and things, but the first time I ever really started painting, like I've been doing here, I got a Bob Ross art set for Christmas one year, and I looked around and I thought, well, you know, I watched this video and you love Bob Ross, right?
Sure,
And
sure.
who doesn't love Happy Trees? And I had a dog at the time, and I took lots of pictures of him, and so that's what I painted. That was the first thing I painted was my dog.
Do you have that picture
This
with
one.
us today?
This is actually the second painting I painted of him.
Okay.
But yeah, down there in front of you, that was my dog.
So that was your very first portrait was
Was of him.
Was of
yeah.
him, aw.
Yep.
So you started out with a dog. What does your subject matter include today? I guess you've branched out a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. I started out with just the pets, and I did a lot of realistic ones, and then people started asking for pet portraits, so I did quite a few pet portraits. And I paint off pictures and anything like vacation photos. I have a couple vacation photos here that I've done. And some of like the yoga pose over there, that's just, I do yoga, so I mean, that's just something that came out of my head. But 90% of the work that I do is off of photos. Even the abstract ones are off of photos. I have the photo that goes with that one there.
I really enjoy this one. In fact, before
That's
the
my
show,
boyfriend, Jeff.
before the show, they were hanging everything up, and I came out and I moved things around as I tend to do a little bit. And this one wasn't behind me, but I wanted it there. I thought it felt appropriate. So do you have that picture that
I do have
it
it.
came from? What would you say a piece like this? What would this be reminiscent of, or what artist would inspire something like that?
Maybe like Andy Warhol.
Okay.
I think that. I'm a big fan of him too for the
Sure.
abstract stuff. I like that. But again, I mean, I just work off of photos. I don't
Sure.
know if you want to, but let's see how it worked. He's going to be so proud.
So this
You
was
know
the
who's gonna be
photo.
a star on today's
That
show.
was the star.
Or I may really drive the camera guys crazy if I
Oh,
hold
yeah.
that up like that.
But I just start with the photo, and then like I fool with it in Photoshop a little bit and kind of get the different angles and you know, mess around with it a little bit, and then paint what I see.
So then this is paint on canvas.
Yes.
Okay.
That's acrylic.
Okay.
That's acrylic on canvas. Yep.
Okay. So how were you?
Freehand it.
We discussed a little bit that your art was featured locally. How were you selected for that expo?
My friend Joyce, who's in the audience,
Hi, Joyce.
she works at Fayette County Courthouse. Wave. But she works at Fayette County Courthouse, and they have an artist every month, and they are booked all the way. I think I'm going to be there again in 2017.
Oh my!
I mean, they're booked
Oh my!
ridiculously, and Joyce had talked to the lady and showed her some of my stuff, and she asked if I wanted to come.
So
And those are open to the public, right? Folks
Oh,
can come through the law library and
Yep.
check out those
Yep.
those works. Our friend Ed Cope from the Herald Standard, it isn't just painters, they feature sculptors, I think, and photographers. Our friend Ed Cope from the Herald Standard, formerly the Herald Standard, retired chief photographer there. He had his photography featured recently. We're trying to get him to come on the show here as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
cool.
So it's not just canvas that you paint. You brought with you a garden rock.
I brought a garden rock. This is my Christmas project this year for all of our family.
Aw.
We have a large family, and so I'm painting one for everybody. And then the girls at work saw them, and they all ordered one. And Joyce ordered one, and the lady from the law library ordered one. So it's
Is it too late to order at this point in time, or it's getting pretty
it's getting
close?
Pretty close. It's pretty close. I mean, because you're special and you're
Yeah.
on TV and all, maybe I can fit you in. But
Do you spend a lot of time picking out the perfect rock for your?
I went home where I grew up. I grew up down in Nettie, West Virginia, and I went down there, and my godparents and I went out in the woods and scooped up a bunch of rocks. That's what we did. So
Does the rock determine at all what you paint on it? Like, does it lend itself to anything anymore?
like, does the rock speak to me and say, "Please paint birds"?
'Cause I
for
think-
me?
I think the rock would have spoke to Bob Ross.
It probably would have. It would have been happy, and it
It
would
would-
have put a tree on me.
Exactly. So
I just try to find like the shape of
sure,
what I'm-
something that you
yeah.
can paint on.
Yeah.
So, what about your other works of art? Do you sell them any place? Do you have a studio set up where people can purchase? Can they go online?
No, I have a Facebook page, Jen Frame. Facebook.
Okay.
I have an artist one, and I have my personal one.
Sure.
Which I won't friend you if I don't know you. I have an email address. It's jenframeart@gmail.com, and it's just mostly word of mouth and different programs and things.
Okay, but if someone wanted to commission you for a piece,
Yeah,
they
would
could
need to email
go
me.
ahead and do that after talking to you and making sure it was something you were interested in, and
Definitely,
kind of
yeah.
go from there. Well, hey, Jen, I thank you for making the trip this evening and
Thank
for being with
you.
us on the show. I know our viewers, they appreciate art, and they'll enjoy seeing some of these things. As your career progresses, if you have anything else you ever want to share with us, we invite you back anytime.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks.
We'll be back after just a few promotional breaks.
That was great. Faster than I thought.
Bored? Well, maybe it's time for you to get a hobby at Uniontown's most exciting new store, Get a Hobby, where you'll find fun for everyone. Lionel Trains have been bringing families joy for more than 100 years, and Get a Hobby has a big selection. For more excitement, try a remote-controlled truck, plane, or even a helicopter. From the beginner to the experienced pilot or driver, Get a Hobby has what they want. Modeling is relaxing, fun, and rewarding, and Get a Hobby has the largest selection of plastic cars and military model kits in the area, and all the paints and glues that you'll need to do it right. Don't forget about all the puzzles, paint by numbers, sewing kits, and even science projects. Stop by Get a Hobby today, downtown Uniontown, next to Woodlands World. They'll help you and your family find a lifetime of fun. Well, thank you. Thank you for staying with us, going live with FCTV. Along with Dave on the couch right now, we have another young lady, Sarah Boger. Did I get that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Sarah, thank you for being with us. You're going to talk to us about a couple things, but we're going to start out with the castle out in Brownsville, Nemacolin Castle, where you serve as the tour coordinator. Is that correct?
Correct.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the castle itself?
All right. Well, the castle is very, very old. Dates back to 1789, actually. It started as a trading post, and the family who lived there, the Bowmans, very important family to Brownsville, probably one of the richest families from Brownsville, began to build onto the house and creating it into a castle. You know, the architecture, it looks like a castle, so that's why we call it Nemacolin Castle.
So it's a registered PA historic landmark.
It is.
Just off of Market Street in Brownsville, so it's
Correct.
easy to find. If you're
Right.
coming either direction on the bridge, you can see it right off to the side.
Right.
And it's operated by the Brownsville Historical Society, is that correct?
Right.
Sure. So you guys have something special that is going on right now, the Christmas candlelight tours. What can people expect if they attend those, and when are they?
Yeah, right now. I mean, they're going on right now. The whole month of December, all the way through December 30th. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in December. Fridays we're open from 5 to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 9. The house is decorated beautifully. Many of the rooms have live trees, wassail, cookies for all of our guests. Each room was decorated by somebody different from the community. A few Brownsville school students came in and chose a room to decorate, but it's all, you know, community, you know, people who have decorated the room. So it's my favorite tour time of the year. So
I was so impressed. I went on actually Light Up Night, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit, to take a castle tour, and I was just so impressed by the extent of the decorating that
Yeah.
happened for the holidays. How long did that take, Sarah?
it takes about 2.5 weeks actually, and I mean our people, they come in and out, you know, whenever they get their opportunity, and yeah, I mean it takes a long time. So.
Now, the tours, as Dave mentioned, were an important part of Brownsville's Light Up Night, and the castle played an important role. Why don't you tell us about that?
Actually, we host Light Up Night this year, and we don't normally, so we were very lucky to have that opportunity to host it. Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus was there, and a few other, I mean, we had vendors and whatnot.
Some crafts for the kids
Yes,
right on,
yes,
on the lawn
face
of the castle.
painting and whatnot. We did very, very well with tours. Brought in, I want to say, over 20 tours Friday night. So very, very good. But like I said, when it comes to Christmas tours and that being our opening night for Christmas tours and Light Up Night, I mean, it's very popular. So we're very lucky that we had the opportunity to host it, like I said.
Were you involved with ghost tours as well this year?
I was, yes.
And that's throughout the month of October,
Yes,
right?
yes. We have ghost tours, and that's talking on the whole experience, because, I mean, the castle is haunted. And that's the actual ghost experiences that we have witnessed. And but the candlelight Christmas tours is more so the history of the house and the family who lived there.
Sure. So you mentioned Light Up Night. You mentioned some of the positive things that are going on there in Brownsville. It really seems to me like Brownsville's on the move. What would people be most surprised to learn about the area there?
Well, not too long ago, we were actually considered on Entertainment Tonight. Actually, came and did an interview of Brownsville, and basically, we were considered a ghost town, which is completely untrue. There's a lot going on in Brownsville, and we're building Brownsville back up. I have good friends, Brian and Mitchell opened up Mitchell's Cafe downtown in Brownsville. Great thing. You know, we're doing very well. So down at
Starbucks coffee, right?
Yeah, we are one of 13 actually companies who have earned the rights to Starbucks, and we're very proud of that. So, and there's not very many places around that serve Starbucks, so very lucky.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That's great. So you're currently, or you were, a history student at California University?
I'm currently a history major at Cal
Okay.
U, yeah.
And you're also interested in film.
Right.
I understand you are a production assistant for a movie called Citizen Soldiers.
Right.
It's a military movie about the Battle of the Bulge.
Mm-hmm.
You care to enlighten us a little bit about that
yeah,
project?
Yeah. I actually, through my good friends Bree and Mitchell, they also own Brownsville Film Office along with Mitchell's Cafe, and my friend Bree, she said, you know, there's this really great opportunity. I'm getting emails from a production company out of LA. They're called Sheer Bravado Productions. And they're looking for a PA production assistant. She said, I think you'd be perfect for it. And so you know, I sent my resume in and I got the job, and I get to work with.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I get to work with Del Dye. He's the military advisor. He actually helped co-produce Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan,
Wow.
a few other big name movies. So I'm very excited that I get to work with him, and a few big named actors who are going to be in this movie. John Hamm, I don't know, he's Don from Mad Men, and Charlie McDormand, he's from The Middle. So really looking forward to meeting these, you know.
So has production started, or when's it
No,
begin?
we're in pre-production right now. Actually, my job right now is to get a little bit of interest, you know, in the movie. Actually, we plan on starting the production in January. So, and we'll be filming in Indiantown Gap, PA.
Okay. So how did your studies of theater, maybe in high school, or did you study it all in college,
Mm-hmm.
did they prepare you for this venture at all?
Absolutely.
For being a PA?
Absolutely. I was very lucky to get to work with Trisha and Michael Rolfe when I was in high school. They were Trisha and Michael both. They were directors of my Brownsville High School musicals, and they do a lot of community theater. And I was very lucky to get to work with them because they definitely prepared me to, you know, work in film and whatnot.
So you mentioned that the Brownsville Film Office kind of helped to open the door for this opportunity to you.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Brownsville Film Office do?
Basically, their job is to bring more interest to Southwestern PA movies and whatnot. We just filmed, not just a couple years back, we filmed the movie Abduction with Taylor Lautner, and that was with the help of Brownsville Film Office that we had that opportunity to bring that movie to us. So.
Sure. It really does seem like there's some exciting things going on in Brownsville, and like you keep yourself busy with those exciting happenings down there.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And for being with us here today. A lot of exciting things that you're working on. And when that movie comes out, Citizen Soldiers, we'll be sure to let our guests know all about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So. Hey, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very
We'll be
much.
back after a brief pause for our sponsorship recognition. Bored? Well, maybe it's time for you to get a hobby at Uniontown's most exciting new store, Get a Hobby, where you'll find fun for everyone. Lionel Trains have been bringing families joy for more than 100 years, and Get a Hobby has a big selection. For more excitement, try a remote-controlled truck, plane, or even a helicopter. From the beginner to the experienced pilot or driver, Get a Hobby has what they want. Modeling is relaxing, fun, and rewarding, and Get a Hobby has the largest selection of plastic cars and military model kits in the area. and all the paints and glues that you'll need to do it right. Don't forget about all the puzzles, paint by numbers, sewing kits, and even science projects. Stop by Get a Hobby today, downtown Uniontown, next to Woodlands World. They'll help you and your family find a lifetime of fun. You're going to clap along.
Everyone else is.
Hey,
Why not?
thanks for sticking with us. You weren't on the last episode.
I wasn't.
No.
I was busy. I'm all over the place.
You
know
are
me.
all over. You've been doing great things. AM radio
Yes.
is something
Yep.
new, and you brought with you again today to the studio your
Yours
buddy,
yours truly.
yours truly. How does this go? Yours truly,
William Eric Alexander.
And all my
William
friends
Eric
call me Bill.
Alexander.
That's
Bill,
right.
Bill Alexander.
Yes.
So he's with us.
He did
hanging
election
out.
coverage with you too.
He did. He did a nice job with election coverage about a month ago, obviously on election day. A little over a month ago,
Yes.
actually. Time flies when you're having fun. But he was at the Election Bureau doing updates with us. Good guy. Thanks for being with us, Bill.
Thank you very much for having me. It's kind of fun to be behind the scenes and actually be able to contribute to the actual
Is he
program.
back? No,
Yeah.
he's not back there.
I feel very much like this is a poor segment of The Wizard of Oz or something like that. But so Mario,
Yeah.
what are you cooking for us today?
What am I cooking? We're gonna. Well, it's the holidays, right?
It
It's
is.
Christmas time. What? It's Christmas time. What do you think about party wise?
Eggnog.
Eggnog. There you go. Eggnog, hot chocolate,
Sure.
candy
sure.
canes. So we're gonna do a little eggnog, hot chocolate.
Oh,
What do you think?
eggnog, hot
Yeah.
chocolate.
I want to do eggnog and hot chocolate, but I thought why not kill two birds with one stone, right?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah,
So
let's have
how do
fun
we
with
get
this.
started? What are we doing?
We are going to, I have a burner here. Now this is something that you want to make, you know, if you're going to make it, if you have Christmas dinner, you're going to do it right after dinner.
Sure.
It doesn't take long to make. It's very simple. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this on about low, medium low, because we don't want to scorch anything, right? And we're going to start with, I have some light cream here, also known as coffee cream.
Okay.
We're going to start that in the pan. See, this is like real technical stuff. We'll get that going.
So,
Got the
so
light cream.
were you trained on how to pour liquids into a pot?
Well, over many years of practice, Bill.
This
it
is
just-
something you learned at the club, right?
Yes,
That's
yes,
what I
there-
thought.
Every detail.
Yeah.
And I have here some chocolate, milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate.
Yeah, I get the chips. You know, these are like medium-sized chips, just because you know you can get the big block,
Mm-hmm.
but if you use like a grater to grate it, it melts in your hand, and chopping it up, it makes a mess. So I find it easier just to get
Just to go
just
ahead
to get
and
the
use
chips.
the
yeah.
chips.
And
About
it is
how
milk
much?
chocolate.
How much
Um,
chocolate is that?
It's about about 3/4 of a cup of cream and about a heaping eighth of a cup of milk chocolate.
Okay.
You can do this to your taste. Okay, it's not like baking. It's not a big.
We don't have to worry about anything rising or falling. Or,
No,
So
no.
we can do it to taste whatever
Yeah,
we like. Okay.
Exactly. So we're just going to let that melt. While that melts, Bill, you want to talk about? We have something to discuss with Matt and Dave, don't we?
But I think we need to bring David on camera on this one
Well,
because
let's
I
bring
want to
him
see
in.
the reaction.
Let's bring him in while this melts because we have a little downtime here for this.
A little
Oh,
downtime?
And one other thing I like to do at this point, right after I add the chocolate, a little pinch of salt. Okay?
Okay.
Just a pinch, because you don't want to taste the salt, but what salt does is it'll make the sweetness pop. Anytime I do anything
Sure.
sweet, you know, like the sea salt caramels, chocolate-covered pretzels, that type of deal.
It's so actually, even though it's a different flavor, it's going to bring out the
Yes,
the
you're not going to
sweetness of
taste.
that
You
chocolate.
don't want to taste salty.
Okay.
But it'll enhance the sweetness.
Sure thing.
So now we have Dave here.
Dave is here.
So Dave, Bill and I, you know, we have the radio show, the Mario Cook Show on WMBS.
Sure.
It's on every Saturday morning at 8. There's a shameless plug right there. But we have the little challenge for you that we talked about if you've listened to the show.
A challenge.
A
Yes.
challenge.
You talked about us
So-
on the show with the challenge?
Yes, we did. We
And
did.
we
We
missed
called
that.
you out by name.
On the
Oh.
first show, we brought this up.
So anyway,
I wish I listened to that.
we want.
Well, you can listen
Now-
to the podcast. It's there
Yes,
to listen to.
Go to mariocooks.com and you can listen to all the past episodes. We're on iTunes too.
Man, shameless
But-
plugs all around.
Yes. Anyway,
Are you nervous?
Believe me, at this point,
happening.
I'm a little nervous.
at this point, I have no shame in
I've
anything.
never
so-
lost control of my show quite like this before.
Well, while we're cooking, this is my kitchen, right?
This is.
Okay,
This is your
anyway.
kitchen.
Bill and I have a challenge for you guys. Now,
Okay.
it's for a good cause. It's all
For a good
we're going
cause?
to do it all for charity. We want you and Dave to team up,
Okay.
and Bill and I are going to team up. So we have teams, right? 2 teams of 2. What we're going to do is we're going to go reach out to anyone you want and just try to collect money for charity.
Okay.
Whoever collects the most by January, we're going to set a date in January, which we'll discuss with you since we're doing it together,
Sure.
is going to be the winner. Now, the loser Bill, do you want to take it from here?
No,
Or
no.
do you want me to continue?
I think you need to continue, but I
Okay.
think we need. I think there's two charities that Matt and Dave both work with.
Right.
One's Share the Spirit,
Uh-huh.
and the other one's Salvation Army. I think Matt and Dave get to choose where the money goes to.
Yeah,
or we
absolutely.
can split it in half between the two.
Absolutely. That's fine. You choose your charity, we'll choose ours.
Okay, we
Okay.
can do that.
And then whoever gets the most, raises the most money by a certain date for their charity, obviously all of the money will get donated, but whoever is the winning team. Now, the losers, what they have to do is, have you heard of planking?
Planking?
Obviously.
Planking?
I
Planking?
have, yeah. It's a growing phenomenon.
Well, planking is out the door now.
Well, it
There's
was in
something new.
2010. It was a growing phenomenon.
Yes, there's something new now.
Have you seen Dave's jacket? What the heck year do you think he's from?
Anyway, there's something new. Planking's gone, and the new phenomenon that started in the UK that's rising is called milking.
Milking.
Yes, we're not going to, no animals are
And there's
involved,
no
don't worry.
cows involved.
Basically, what happens is you go out in public
Okay.
with a gallon of milk, you dump it over the top of your head while someone films you.
And we want to do it live on Fayette TV, on Going Live, and we want to do it on your show. Because really, if we do it on radio, there's really no real effect there.
Exactly.
So the
What's the-
idea
what's
is
the,
we're going to do it live on Going Live,
Okay.
and we'll have small swimming pools set up. And the team that is it the team that raises the most money does it, or the team that raises the least money does it?
I think the team that raises the most money gets
Okay.
to do it to the team that raises the least money.
Okay, that's fine. They stand behind the team.
Ah.
I like the idea. And I will actually come from behind the curtain to actually do this on TV.
Will Dave be in a bikini should he lose?
No.
No. Okay.
Fully dressed, suit and tie.
I think we're in for that. I
Okay.
think a good charity challenge. That would be a great idea.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to offer too is I'm going to add some sugar to this at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
'cause
right,
now
To
that's-
sweeten the deal.
Now
That's
the
right. You are
chocolate's-
cooking, aren't you?
the chocolate's melted, and I'm also going to add our eggnog. I have 2 cups of eggnog here.
Okay.
Feel free to make your own.
Bought in the state store.
In the state, no, this is kids can have this.
Okay.
Okay, we're child friendly. Keep it G, Matt.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So we're gonna add our eggnog. We're gonna slowly bring that up to a simmer,
Okay.
and I'm also gonna add to this a little dark cocoa powder. Okay, get the good dark, the real dark stuff. And I added the sugar because the cocoa powder isn't sweetened. Now, while this is going, what I'm gonna do, Matt, what do I have on my cutting board there?
You have a vanilla bean.
Exactly.
I don't know how many people know what a vanilla bean looks like,
Do you want to
or
show them?
or use a vanilla. Maybe a lot of people use a vanilla bean,
Now,
but this is what it looks like.
okay, you can't eat the bean. Okay.
No.
Now, what you want to do is an easy way to get the good stuff out of the bean.
Okay.
Pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. You'll hear it pop because the liquid inside here will turn to steam and it'll pop. When
Okay.
it pops, it becomes very flexible and very easy
Sure.
to cut.
Sure.
So what you want to do is you want to split it right down the center lengthwise. Okay, use a paring knife like I'm doing.
Okay.
And then you want to take and kind of open it and take the back of your knife and you can scrape all this good stuff out of the center.
Okay. Now, in flavor-wise, how does this compare with like a vanilla extract?
Much stronger.
It's going to be much stronger.
Uh-huh.
You
And it
use
tastes
much
of pure
less?
vanilla.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I threw the whole thing in there because I'm going to strain this.
Sure.
Now, that pod also has flavor. It's going to infuse our drink here. The thing you can do is, if you don't want to throw the pod in there, if you don't want to strain it, scrape the beans out, put them in there, take the empty pod, put it in your sugar bowl.
Okay.
Okay, just right in the sugar, you'll have vanilla sugar.
Sure.
Let it sit in there. It's great. So that way you don't waste it. You don't want to waste that because vanilla beans are a little expensive. So we're going to let this come up to a simmer. At that point, we're going to strain it.
Okay.
Okay, and then I will make you one. And I have some fresh whipped cream that I made right before the show in the fridge that Dave can go get in a few minutes. Don't go just quite yet. And while we're waiting for that, so we're on for this challenge,
We're
right?
on. We're on. Dave, he left though. He heard milking and was gone.
We're not going to milk Dave. He doesn't have to worry.
No, no.
But, okay, that sounds good. What I'm going to offer as well to you is, if you want to, and we can talk about this later, we can use our call-in line
Sure.
for the Mario Cook Show, and I'll give you your own special access code.
Okay.
So that if they want to donate to you, they can hit your number, to us, our number, and then we can keep track that way. So the number for that is 855-8MC-SHOW.
Okay.
So it's really easy to remember. People can call in, and we'll go to it.
Sounds great.
Okay, so Dave, you want to go grab that whipped cream for me? Dave just lost all his enthusiasm.
He did. he's really worried that if our team loses, and milk is spilt upon him,
Is he
that he'll-
lactose intolerant?
He's just intolerant, but he's afraid that it will destroy that jacket he's wearing
Well,
today.
I mean, I can understand. That's a classic.
So you're saying he'd rather be in the bikini?
I think so.
That ranks up there
The
with
viewers would not like him to be in the bikini.
that ranks up there with his grandmother's aluminum Christmas tree. Now we know where Dave shops. In his grandmother's closet. But I'm ching.
I don't know.
That's a fine
No.
jacket, though. I mean,
I was watching in the back, okay, on
You
the
were?
monitor while you guys were doing your monologues or whatnot, Bill.
Yeah.
And when you said you were going to steal Dave's Christmas tree, for a split second there, he gave this look like
You
I'd
can't
be a little
touch my
afraid.
tree.
Yeah. It was just for a split second because I think he caught himself, but I did notice that. All right, so we're pretty warm here. You want to go ahead and we'll strain this. Now what this is going to do is it's going to get rid of that vanilla bean pod, and if there's a little bit of extra chocolate, as you can see in there, that didn't melt for whatever reason.
because we don't want any chunks
Right.
in there.
He likes chunky hot chocolate.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll just put this off to the side. Here's our cup.
Okay.
We'll just pour it. This is going to take, well, that might not be a good idea.
Oh, go
What,
ahead.
are you
Try.
trying
You
to
can
pour
practice milking early.
Oh.
Hey! You thirsty?
We could probably have strained this into a pitcher,
You probably could have.
and then we could have poured it more appropriately.
See, you live, you learn.
Unfortunately, we would provide you with no materials to work with here, so.
It's okay. I'm pretty self-sufficient.
You are.
Ask Bill.
Yeah, he's practicing before he goes on that big TV station in Pittsburgh. So
Ah.
if it doesn't work here, we do it in Pittsburgh.
This is kind of my testing ground, right?
Exactly.
So then we'll take a.
I don't know if I like that, Mario.
You take everything so personally.
I do.
Do a little quenelle here of whipped cream.
A
This is
what?
fresh.
What is it called?
It's a quenelle.
What the heck is a quenelle?
It's a
he
three-sided.
just made up.
Technically, it's a three-sided dumpling. It's the technique here with 2 spoons. It makes it three-sided. Quenelle. Quenelle.
So is
It's
this
one of
how
those-
Polish women make
It's one of those fancy
halushki?
cooking words. And we'll just dump that
There
in
we
there.
go.
And oh, wait.
Wait,
Yeah, there's more.
Is it a
there's
straw?
more.
I have a nice chocolate peppermint candy cane for you.
Very nice. Very.
And then
Did you
that's
take the
gonna kinda
peel
get in
off
there.
of this? Yes, you
Well,
did.
actually, Bill Alexander
I
took the
did it.
peel off.
That
You should
makes-
feel honored.
I do.
I don't know what else he did with it, but I know
But
he,
he
took
the peel off. Okay. So
Bottoms up.
that's a good cup
Could
of
you
hot
make that
chocolate.
slurping sound
you.
again?
I could.
Could-
Just like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Well,
got that eggnog. You taste the eggnog?
I do. It's very good. It's different than what you're used to,
Right.
unless you're used to mixing your eggnog with your hot chocolate. It would be very different for you.
It's a good Christmassy. Do you feel Christmas?
I do.
Does it
I
make
feel
you feel?
Christmas within my heart.
God bless us, everyone.
Now, I'd love to play with you here in the kitchen all day long. We could cook some more, but we have to bring this show to a close at some point in time.
Do we have to?
We
you said it's
do.
your show.
It was at one point in time. So I want to thank Bill for joining us again. Thank you, Bill.
You're very welcome.
Bill, it's always a pleasure.
It always is.
We're going to go out with the band. Their first song they played
Where are we
today.
going?
Someplace. Yes. We're going to go finish the show with the band.
Okay.
Their first song they played today was called Walls. The last song that they're going to play us out to is Living on the Edge, Time to Let Go. Both are on their new album, which they're recording right now. It should be done about January 13, 2013. If you're interested in learning more about the band, you can always like them, Martyr Canaan, on Facebook and YouTube, and check out their website, www.martyrcanaan.com. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for tonight's musical guest, Martyr Canaan.
Takes a walk to face the music. Just his footsteps and his thoughts. Wonders why he had to abuse it. Could this just be part of it all. Now he tries to think, but it's so confusing. Oh, how the hell did this all start? Is he sorry for what he's losing? Or is he sorry he just got caught? Living on the edge, out of control. Living on the edge, end of the road. Now his heart pounds and his hands are shaking. His judgment eyes fill the room as the black crow comes to take him. He knows he did what he had to do. Living on the edge, out of control. Living on the edge, end of the There he stands, a lone man. One last swallow through the news. One last step to forgiveness. One last step to face to. Living on the edge. Out of control, living on the edge, at the end of the road. Oh, living on the edge, living on the edge. Living